Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus here with Justin from the Purple Persuasion. Basically, I don't know, the third member of the show, we can almost say at this point.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us on almost weekly now, and enjoyed the draft last week. It was a lot of fun, and things worked out for the Vikings. So it's a good time to be a fan right now.
Absolutely. No one has yet followed Purple Persuasion on Twitter. Be sure to do that at TPP, right? Is that correct?
TPP Skull.
At TPP Skull. Absolutely.
We're all over the place now.
What are you up
to?
We
got some big news that we dropped yesterday. So we partnered up with Big Game Travel and John Randall for the London takeover for when the Vikings head over there across the pond. Whoever they play, I kind of lean towards it being the Texans, but we'll see this upcoming Thursday when the official schedule is announced, if not sooner, if they drop those international games. But yeah, we partnered up with them. All you need to do is purchase the package. They'll do everything for you. Pack your bags and you go. So flights, hotel, restaurant, food, drinks, bars, pubs. John Randall's there the whole time. So it's not like he's just signing autographs. You could actually hang out with him the whole time, which is pretty sweet.
Wow.
And they have a special connection with Tottenham, and they get some pretty good ticket level seats and, high quality. You're not up in the nosebleeds. So it's a whole thing. Links in our bio. We'll be spamming it out probably up until, after a week after next week. So if you guys are interested, feel free to DM us, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction.
Hell yeah, that sounds fantastic.
And Randall's coming on the show here. It's going to be exciting. So hopefully next week, I'm hoping it happens. If not, in the next 10 days, he'll be popping on the Onebar show. Onebar Lovely Show.
I'm going to wear a wetsuit during that.
I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And he gave us a big retweet today on that.
He did. I saw that. Hell yeah. Randall's fantastic. He's every Friday he's out there drinking at like 9 in the morning with a cigar in his
mouth. He's a character.
Yeah,
he's a character.
He's something else. All right, let's go back. We're going to start with the draft. Start there with some things that came out during the draft that we haven't really talked about yet.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into roster stuff. I mean, just what's been going on recently with the Vikings. Let's start with this one from Mike Reese. Vikings offered the Patriots picks 11-23, a 2025 first rounder in exchange for a third overall pick and 2 mid-rounders, and that was rejected by the Patriots. Do you think the Vikings ever really had a chance to get there to 3?
I honestly don't, unless it was 4 first. I think that's what it would have taken to maybe move off of it. I kind of think Robert Kraft stepped in as the owner for the Patriots and said, he's getting up there in age. He's like, you got to get this guy, unless you get offered 4 plus, 4 first and change, maybe we consider it. But I think he kind of stepped in there and made the move for Wolf and co, the whole Patriots organization. But yeah, I think Albert Breer mentioned that they offered the 3 picks and some draft swaps that were in favor of the Vikings, and the Patriots weren't too thrilled about that. And then I think Mike Reese of the ESPN for the Patriots kind of confirmed it was some mid-round picks, some day 2 swaps there. And I just don't think they ever really were going to trade for him. And I don't think the Vikings were ever going to offer 4. I think they like JJ McCarthy just enough at less capitals. And I think it worked out in our favor. But it was interesting, at least, showed that Drake May was plan A, or at least 1A, or whatever you want to put it. Yeah, we'll see who ends up being the better quarterback when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and now Onebar has to slam a glass of Manwich because he lost that bet. So that's going to happen as a member video. I think tomorrow we're going to record that. So we'll see if we can get through that without puking.
I'll have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and I never actually thought it was in play either. If you're the Patriots, why would you not just take a quarterback and start building around him?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. When you're in that high of a cap, pick 2 or that high in the draft, it's just like you don't pass on that stuff. Especially with that deep of a quarterback. And Drake May has a lot of potential. And I don't know if they have the weapons to help him thrive. Maybe they sit him a year. We'll see. But, when you're that high picking and at that quality of a quarterback position, you got to just grab it and go and build around it.
Yep. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, he said the Vikings liked all the top 6 quarterbacks and they're determined to walk away with at least one of them in the first round. This includes quarterback 6, which was Bo Nix.
Yeah, so it's interesting if you piece together all the different platforms, Albert Breer, I think Tom Pelissero, you could actually put the draft board together for the Vikings. So it was Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy was QB4 on their board. Penix was just behind, which I thought was an interesting kind of tidbit that Tom Pelissero put out earlier in the week. He was QB5, and then Bo Nix was 6th. But it did sound like, per Fowler, they were going to walk away with a quarterback. I don't know if they were going to draft Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. if he were to fall, say McCarthy went sooner at pick 11, or if they were going to kind of finagle a trade back. I think now that we watched the draft, I think Bo Nix probably wasn't going past the Broncos or for sure the Raiders. So I think they probably would have had to pull the trigger on a quarterback at pick 11 if, McCarthy went before everybody. And I think it worked out in our favor. I think the Falcons screwed everything up with that pick. That was just mind blowing to me. And helped the Vikings in the end too. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that, it sounds like they did like Bo Nix to some extent, that he was worth a first round pick. So, but
still, they were willing to give up, 2 mid-round picks to go up one spot to get McCarthy instead of waiting to see if Nix would be the backup plan. So I think there was a pretty big gap there.
I think there was. I don't think they would have liked taking him at 11. I think maybe at 23 or whatever trade back scenario that they got. But just quarterbacks are valued and they're over drafted, and that's just how it is because it's the most important position in the NFL. And if they would have passed on one, I don't think there would have been one at 23.
And speaking of the trades, Justin, I want to get your take on this. The whole. And I know you've put it out there from like a Vikings positive standpoint. I've seen it from the Jets and from Jets laughing at the Vikings and Sean Payton getting in there saying, whatever the hell his word was, not swindle, but I played it that the Vikings made them trade up. I forced their hand.
Yeah.
What's your take on that whole trade situation, moving up one spot? After hearing this and seeing those videos.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kwesi did the right thing. You never want to take a chance. You never want to take a gamble. Were they bluffing? Maybe. I think they actually kind of were. Initially, McCarthy appeared on KFan on Monday, I believe, and talked about how he thought he was going to be a Bronco or a Viking team. Those were the top 2 teams that thought he was going to go. So there's some truth to that, but I think Breyer put it out there that the Broncos actually had Bo Nix at QB3 behind Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. So maybe in the whole time they did want Bo Nix and Sean Payton. To me, it was just weird because we're not even in the same conference. We're not even on the schedule this year. I just think Sean Payton wanted to get his little dig in for the Vikings, with the whole bounty gate and, with the skull mocking back in 2017. So I think he doesn't like the Vikings, and understandably why. So I think he probably wanted just to boast, with his, his type of nature. We all know who Sean Payton is. And but old shit. But I do think in reality, I kind of think he did bluff the Vikings, but in the end, it's not worth even gambling. And for whatever they gave up to move one spot, who gives a crap?
My take is if I'm the Jets guy, I'm probably laughing too because I got 2 picks, and that's fine. That's fine. But if I'm a Viking, I'd much rather walk away with JJ McCarthy and not have, a third rounder in 25 and a fourth round this year than to have Bo Nix and have those picks.
No,
so
I think we all would have just died if that was the case.
Exactly.
I'm okay with it. Is there some truth to what he said? Maybe that he did bluff him for an extra, but it all worked out, so it's all good. But it was. I wish the Vikings would drop more of those in season videos of all the conversations.
Yeah.
They may do it, but I feel like other teams do a lot better job at it. So hopefully the Vikings, the Vikings Entertainment Network puts some out like of Kwesi working the phones and all that kind of stuff. So I always find that stuff interesting.
I do too. It's fantastic. I wish there was almost like a whole draft, from the January to draft night, like a whole series like it was for quarterback, call it GM or something, that would be fantastic.
But there were some interesting nuggets on the Jet side of things of what they were going through when we traded up. So sometimes you can pick, some nuggets up from other teams.
Wasn't there like an offer from the Raiders too? Weren't the Raiders?
Yeah, there was the talks of the Raiders and the Rams. Or it was either the Rams or the Seattle wanting to move up slightly for McCarthy. So I don't take a chance. I don't think the Broncos were in on it. So, but it's all fun.
Yeah. And obviously after the draft, draft's over. What happens the next day? 2025 mocks. Jordan Reed put one out. Having the Vikings go with Michigan D lineman Mason Graham. I don't know. I mean, whether Mason Graham is a pick or not, I do feel like D tackle is going to probably be the position that is linked to the Vikings the entire 2025 draft season. You agree with that?
I would 100% agree with that. Maybe cornerback if none of these guys pan out, or if Caleb Evans or Booth really fall off a cliff and Jackson doesn't kind of work out. But I think defensive tackle is the biggest need. Harrison Phillips is a free agent next year. And this guy is actually a stud. I actually dug into him just a little bit. He's got some insane PFF grades. It's 90 overall on defense. Run defense is 87.8. Pass rush 84.8. And for those Gopher fans out there, he actually had his best game of the season against them. He ranked 91.0 in that game. So he's a stud, and it's close to Byron Murphy numbers actually from this past year, which was the number 1 D tackle in this past draft. So, I think he'll be linked to them. Yeah. We'll see how I think they had him picking at like 8th, which I don't know if people caught that drift, which means we're going to suck essentially. So not too many people caught on to that, but we'll see how the team does.
I actually did a mock for the Viking Angel I write for, and I had him taking Mason Graham as well. So
nice.
Me and Jordan Reed clearly think alike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alec Lewis dropped his first 53-man roster prediction. He had at the quarterback position being Jaron Hall being the odd man out. Do you think Jaron Hall or Nick Mullins, who's going to be the odd man out?
I think I kind of agree with Lewis on that. I think with Mullins, if you cut him, you're not going to save much money. So it's kind of like whatever at this point. And I think Jaron Hall is just, he's not cut out to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But, you know, who knows in due time, but maybe he could be a capable backup one day. I think they could probably cut him and stash him on the practice squad. Yeah. I don't think he put enough there on tape to really wow anybody. But, you know, if they go on the practice squad, they could always be plucked and he's gone. But I think Sam Darnold's making the squad. JJ McCarthy's making the squad. And I just think there's some better leverage with Nick Mullins. We know he could be functional in the offense, not great, but he's, you know, kind of guess he does torpedo games, but he can also put 400 plus yards in a game too. So I think he's more stable. And I just think they can stash Jaron Hall on the practice squad. So I think that's probably the likely scenario and him not making the 53.
I think they call those sexy losses when Nick Mullins is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I just think if you got JJ McCarthy, you put every single available coaching resource into him. Like, why would you give any of that, you know, time to somebody else? Give it all to JJ McCarthy. So I agree with you there. This was kind of hinted at. Joseph Zucker, I think, from Bleacher Report. Delvin Cook back to the Vikings. I don't know if this was sparked because Zeke re-signed with the Cowboys, but any chance of that, you think, Delvin Cook coming back?
No, I don't think there's anything there. But, you know, never say never. But at the same time, I think Aaron Jones is a solid 3-down back. He can play every down. He can pass catch. He can run. He's extremely undervalued, especially if he can stay healthy. I think Cook's probably trying to get his just last payday, whether it's a 1-year, you know, $5 million deal or something like that. So I think he's going to milk it till he absolutely knows he can't. And Ty Chandler is he's, you know, showed that he can thrive in maybe a limited capacity, maybe giving him a bigger role, he can do well. But if Cook comes back, you know, is he going to want to be RB3? I don't think so. I do think there's some more in the tank with Dalvin Cook, but, you know, with players like him, they're kind of the ego kind of gets to them. But I'd be pretty shocked if he's back. But like I said, never say never.
Never say never. You never know. And really, running back 3 for the Vikings, I don't know. I mean, Kenny hasn't really shown anything. I mean, Scooby McBride, whatever the hell they call him.
Dwayne McBride, yeah.
He was horrible.
In the preseason, yeah. Mick's real high on him. He's like the McBride season. I was like,
I
didn't even make the roster.
I can't believe he made it to practice squad last year. He was that bad, but whatever. So that's a position the Vikings could add. I wouldn't be surprised they, you know, brought in a free agent to fill that out when all that's said and done. Last one for you again. Justin, appreciate your time. Purple Persuasion, TPP Skull. Go give him a follow on Twitter. Why would you not? Tons of Vikings news, rumors coming at you. I mean, it's just constant. It's just a constant barrage, and I love it. I love it. It's so good. We'll find it. Even this slow season, we'll find news. We'll find something to talk about. So follow us, and we'll keep the discussions going all off season till training. Hell yeah. One more from Alec Lewis. Last one. He fully expects Sam Darnold to be the week 1 starter. He says, I fully expect Sam Darnold to be the starter week 1. I think that is the way that you develop a guy optimally so you don't throw him to the fire until everyone is in the building. Fully believes that that's the guy ready to be thrown into the fire. So he thinks Sam Darnold will be your week 1 starter. What do you think?
You know, I think it probably is realistic, but I have a slight hope, and I'm in the camp where you learn the best in the element. And I understand his offense is complex. It's going to take time, and you don't need to throw him to the wolves, but he's got too many weapons, you know, to not succeed, in my opinion. And, you know, I don't want to throw into the backups, the Powells and Dwayne McBrides and stuff. Like, of course he's going to struggle with those types of talent. Let's get him with JJ or Jets now, I guess I should say. Jets and Addison. I think the sportsbook, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it was minus 160 Sam Darnold. This is on DraftKings Sportsbook. He was minus 160, somewhere around there to start, which is only a slight favorite. And it was McCarthy was like plus 120. So I think the media and the fans are really like, oh yeah, he's not going to start. But I think there's a higher probability than maybe people, you know, might not think. And I put a little money on that too, just because I'm in favor of JJ starting on week 1. And I think he could get there. I really do think he could get there. He seems real smart. And he came from an NFL offense from Harbaugh. So it's not like he's learning something real astronomical. And I think they're going to really try to get him to start. And it's not too often that first round quarterbacks in the top 10 don't start week 1. It's a very small percentage. So if he doesn't, then he would be part of that minority. So we'll see what happens. And I think that's going to be the biggest talker heading into training camp. And we got rookie mini camp next week, but training camp and OTAs, that's going to be the major talker here pretty soon.
And I think it's going to be said over and over again that Sam Darnold's our starter, Sam Darnold's our starter, Sam Darnold's our starter.
Yeah.
But maybe the second week in August, when all of a sudden, no, JJ McCarthy's won the job.
Oh, that one big game and that night practice that they have, he just lights it up. Everybody and the fans have a say. As soon as Darnold makes a bad loss or a couple picks in a game, it's JJ, and that has a mental effect on quarterbacks. And I think we'll see. Maybe not week 1, but I'd be pretty surprised if he's not starting at least halfway through the season.
Yeah. I think he could just flat out win the job. Like I
think he can.
He's the kind of guy who's going to put the time in after practice on his own time and make sure he understands everything in this offense. So I wouldn't shock me one bit. I'd be more surprised if Sam Darnold does start week 1.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's my bold take. Take. I don't even know if it's a bold take, but that's my take. I think JJ is going to win the job week 1.
Hell yes. Again, Justin, we appreciate you again coming on the weekend, filling in for me during the live stream of the draft. You guys saw what shape I was in late in that thing. Could you imagine me the whole time during that?
You gave the fans an excitement pre-draft there, and you got to stay off social media and see everything live. Like, it was fun. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Again, cannot wait to talk to John Randall with you. Hopefully next week sometime. And usually I don't drop facts when I have guests on, but Justin, you're not a guest anymore. You're one of us. So remember this: Kraft introduced boxed macaroni and cheese back in 1937.